I want to buy the $1000 iPhone 17 Pro, but I'm broke. So I'm gonna be phone hunting until I make enough money to buy one. I went on eBay, Vinted and few other marketplaces and I managed to buy these two phones. Broken iPhone 11 and this iPhone 14 mini. I will start with the 13 mini. I managed to pick this one for $220. The phone is in perfect condition for its age. The battery health is at 82% and there are no scratches and the owner took a really good care of the device. But this phone has one major defect and it's the rear camera. There are some pink dots on it and to fix the phone we need to replace the rear camera. As usual, the first thing to do was to remove the two bottom screws. After that I place the phone on a heat plate and I will wait for 5 minutes. Also don't forget to power off the phone. When the phone is hot, place it inside the opening fixture and open it. You know the drill. Apply some isopropyl alcohol around the edges, lower the suction cap and turn the lever. Then remove the phone from the opener and open the screen like a book. You can see that the phone has never been opened and everything is pristine and original. That's what I like to see every time I work on a phone. Before I do anything, I will apply a camera protective sticker so the camera doesn't have any smudges. Then it's time to remove the brackets and disconnect the battery and the display. The same applies to the bracket on top that covers the proximity sensor flex cable. And now we can almost replace the rear camera. The one thing that's holding us back is the camera bracket and that we need to disconnect the camera from the motherboard. So let's do it. Firstly disconnect the camera flex cables from the motherboard and then remove the 3 screws that hold in the camera bracket. Even though this is iPhone 13 mini, it uses the same camera as iPhone 13. So I will use the camera from my parts phone that you could see in the last video and I will install it into the red iPhone 13 mini. Make sure that the flex cables of the camera are routed well and then check if there is any dust in the camera lens. Clean it properly with a cloth so you are 100% certain that there is no dust. All is well, so it's time for a reassembly. Connect up the camera flex cable, clean the camera with a cloth and then install the camera bracket. Connect the proximity sensor and its bracket. Then it's time for the display and battery. Do the same. You might have noticed that I missed a step. I didn't replace the display adhesive. Unfortunately, I didn't have this one in stock and it is in decent condition, so I decided to keep it. Well, and then I closed the phone. If you watched this part carefully, you can see that I left something really important in there. If you have noticed it, write it in the comments. And while you are in there, press the like button and subscribe. And this was the moment of realization. Do you see the yellow thing on the camera? Yes, that's the camera protective sticker, so the camera don't get any smudges. And I forgot it in there. So I have to open the phone again, remove it and close it again. I don't want to bore you guys with the process, so I did it off camera. And the phone is repaired, so how much money will we make? So let's create a money invested chart. I paid $220 for the phone. The replacement camera, even though it was from a parts phone, would cost anywhere between $5 to $10. So this brings our total to $230. And I have already sold the phone for $350. So that's $120 profit. That sounds good to me. And we are onto our next money maker. This one is iPhone 11 128GB version that I bought from my friend for 50 bucks. The screen is severely damaged, the battery health is at 73%, but other than that, the phone works perfectly fine. To open up this destroyed iPhone, I again need to remove the two screws at the bottom, and then I don't even heat up the phone, I just use a razor blade and I put it between the display and the frame. Then I use a spudger with isopropyl alcohol to go alongside the frame, and that's how easily you can remove the display on iPhone 11. You can see some smudges on the metal brackets, that's because I have replaced a charging port on this phone in past. I am gonna speed up the process and I am gonna remove all the screws so we can remove the brackets. After the brackets are removed, disconnect the display and ear speaker flex cable. And since the battery capacity has degraded so much, I will replace the battery. I tried to remove the battery with its original adhesive strips, but unfortunately they snapped. The older the battery and adhesive strips, the more likelihood it is to snap. So I used my old trusty method that works every time. I poured some isopropyl alcohol and inserted a spudger under the battery. Because I am not gonna reuse the battery, I didn't worry much about how it will come out. I cleaned the adhesive residue left over by the previous battery and I prepared to install a new one. Unfortunately, I didn't have the right battery adhesive for iPhone 11, so I took a battery adhesive from iPhone 13 and modified it to fit. Then I connected it up to the phone and pressed down the battery. And it was time for a display replacement. I forgot to mention that both the display and the battery are used original parts I had at home. The battery capacity is at 98% and the display is without scratches. To help remove the proximity sensor flex cable, I'm gonna pour some isopropyl alcohol and then I will slide under the flex cable with a spudger. And now all we need to do is just install it all back. The same screws, the same process. On iPhone 11, when you replace a battery, even with an original one, you get a battery not recognized warning message. The same applies for a display if you don't transfer a display IC, or at least it was like this in previous iOS versions. You could see in the time-lapse that I did some weird trickery with the display adhesive, and that's because I didn't have display adhesive for iPhone 11 in stock, so I used and modified display adhesive for iPhone XS Max. And the battery shows it's at 98% of its original capacity, but we have the battery important message. As for a display, when we go to the parts and service section, there is no genuine message for the display. That is pretty unusual because I didn't transfer the display IC and I think it must be with the new update of iOS 26. If you guys know more info about this, please let me know. So, how much did we spend on repairing this iPhone 11? For the phone I paid 50 bucks. Even though I had the display at home, it would be around 20 bucks. Same goes for the battery, that would be 10 bucks. So the total price of the phone is 80 bucks. That's great. And I can sell the phone for 180 bucks. That's 100 bucks profit. That's pretty good. What do you think? Leave your opinions in comments. And the total profit for both phones for today is 220 bucks. That's really good. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and leave a comment. Bye.